man's learning, because next time, magic missile right to the face.
You seem confident. Why don't you arm wrestle me for it?
Good! I feel your power.
Right through the forest we're going, and not one of you buggers better mess with us. I do not know how, but Jaren Culver has resurfaced as the Supreme Counselor, reigning over Nevin.
Look down on the table and say, I'm in.
What's our first task?
We must find these 6 stones in the chaos that this nation is in. The date is the 5th day of Tarsak, and it's 6:30 p.m. The 3 of you all walk inside the thickety pot. When you walk in, you are not overwhelmed, but you walk into warmth. It's warm in this room. You realize that there is that you've walked into kind of a tavern and meal house with a fireplace ablaze on one side and humble wooden furniture just scattered around the room. A staircase over close to the fireplace journeys up to the second floor, out of your line of sight. 2 patrons sit inside the place. A man with his back against the wall that's facing the street that you just kind of walked in from. So he's over kind of to your right, over to the side. He wears a wide-rimmed hat, covering his, kind of coming over his face and covering his eyes as he looks down into a bowl of soup. He also has a high-collared, long brown leather coat that just goes down his frame as he's sitting down in his chair. One spoon in his hand, but just resting close to the bowl. The other man in the room sits away from the first man on his own. You can tell from across the room that he has dark hair, and you kind of catch a hint of green eyes shining in the light of the fire and candles lit around the room. You can tell that he's slightly older than the rest of you.
Are both men eating soup, or do both men have food in front of them?
The one by the fireplace does not.
Am I close enough to kind of like look into the soup that the one guy's eating and see what's in it?
Roll perception. Okay.
Starting off strong. Gotta stick to that soup. Is this vegan? Is there gluten in this?
We have a lot of food allergies in the group.
You can tell that there's some kind of meat, chunky meat inside this soup. It's kind of got a bit of a brown coloration to it, and you can, by the way the texture of the soup, you can tell that there's a good bit of probably what is grease in it. You know, just kind of mixing with the liquid, and bits of probably vegetables, and there's a little bit like a chunk of bread kind of on the side of the bowl.
Okay. And is there any tables, any open tables in front of us?
There are a lot of open tables in front of you.
Okay.
However, your attention towards the back wall where the bar is, you see a squat dwarven woman. She basically makes a noise, and she kind of fumbles a plate that she was cleaning. And she goes, "Ah! Welcome to the thickety pot. Come on in. You look famished. Please, have a seat. What can I get for you?"
Is there like a menu that we could see?
Absolutely.
Or is there just the one? Ooh.
And so you see her grab a couple of rough pieces of parchment and kind of walk around the bar over to where you guys are, and she kind of motions toward an empty table, And so as you guys sit down, she puts in front of you the kind of a menu.
Oh, yes!
Everything's in stock. Just pick what you like. While you're looking over it, what brings you here? You don't look like you're from here. Kind of know everybody around.
I'm just looking at the menu. I'm like not paying attention to what she's saying.
All right.
I was wondering if you would get to that item on the menu.
Tave looks up and says, "I just want the onion soup and the rabbit."
Onion soup and rabbit. Got it. Coming right up. For the strong lad. What about for the man in the fancy clothes? Fancy shiny clothes.
I'll have the cooked wolf steak.
You see her writing stuff down. Coming right up. And for you, lass.
I'll get the onion soup, please.
Onion soup it is. 2 of them.
Just the one. Oh, yep. Someone else must have ordered that. Sorry.
Only 1 onion soup then.
No, I want one, and whoever else wants one too.
Might keep in mind, dearie. She kind of looks over to like the back, assumingly, where the kitchen is, and she like her tone just suddenly changes. She goes, "Graham!" And she kind of just barks like your orders to this unseen person named Grum, and her voice gets deep and really barky. And then she turns back to you, and she's sunny again and just very jovial. It's funny almost watching her walk. When she kind of waddled over to you, dwarves themselves are stocky and well built. It seems like she eats a bit more than her fair share, and whatever it is that she's eating is not all too healthy. She kind of gets back to looking at you, and she says, "Oh, and drinks. What would you like to drink?" Oh,
Is there a drink menu?
Unfortunately, we are a bit more limited on our drinks. Not too many travelers come this way. I won't lie to you. We do have a nice pale ale, and as you look over, there's a few barrels of what would house ale in them, and we also have water. But unfortunately, those are our only 2 options.
I'll have both.
Both. Absolutely. We need to fatten you up.
Ooh.
And for you too.
I'll have ale, please.
Okay. Another ale for the lady that doesn't know what she wants. And for the shiny man.
Water for me.
Water for the shiny man, of course.
Oh.
I wonder what's underneath all that shininess.
I'm gonna elbow Desmond a little bit.
I have many questions, but let me go get your drinks. And she kind of hurries off and just like, kind of has she moves side to side as much as she moves forward.
Whenever she walks off, I want to look at Ren and Tave and be like, do we know like how much this is going to cost? Like, we've kind of just ordered food without knowing the price of anything.
Surely it's not unreasonable, and I have more than enough to go around, I think.
Matt, do I hear him talking?
Roll perception.
Okay.
From where you are in the room, the sound of the fireplace is kind of overpowering any conversation that they're having amongst themselves, at least. Comparatively to the dwarven woman, they're speaking very quietly.
Whisper, whisper, whisper. Well, we might as well enjoy ourselves. And Desmond kind of leans back in his chair, puts his hands behind his head.
And at this point, the dwarven woman kind of walks back in with, 2 waters and 2 ales, kind of on a platter. And she swoops down and kind of leans over, and you can see that her kind of top is a bit too low cut for her to be really doing this kind of maneuver across the table to hand you your ale, Tave. And then Set gives you your ale, Ren, and then the 2 waters. And she says, Grum will have your orders out very soon. Now that you've got your drinks, what brings you to Sandalwood?
I'm just going to chug my drink.
Thirsty lass.
Just passing through.
Yep, just passing through.
To where?
A look over at Beholder's Eye Lake.
So you've come to the lake then? Well, to each their own. Adventurers come and adventurers go, trying to find treasures and solve mysteries and whatever.
Do you know something about the lake that we should know, or?
Something about the lake. It's full of water, I hear. Nasty business if you don't know how to swim.
Does it seem like that's the only thing she knows about the lake, or is she covering?
Roll insight. It's hard to tell. You did just down an entire ale, I'm assuming.
Yup.
So, so you're just kind of reeling, like you just kind of set your mug down, and kind of as if you're coming up for air. It's hard to tell, what motivation she's coming from there. I'm assuming you've only arrived to Sandalwood today. You won't be leaving so soon, will you?
How far away from here is the lake?
Oh, it's about only a day's journey, I should think. I don't go there myself. I'm a little bit of a coward, but I've got everything I need here. I've got myself and my food and the thickety pot. I'm so glad you came.
And I'm guessing the thickety pot is the last place that we could stay before we get to the lake.
Of course, I've got rooms available.
We have rooms.
You have rooms?
I mean,
Creepy cabinet in.
Oh. So you've bought from Thomas, have you? Well, that's fine and good. I'm just glad you came in to have a bit to eat.
just a question about your lovely menu here. I see a lot of, or some at least, fish items. Are those local fish?
I don't rightly know where they come from. The fisheries, the fishermen, just bring them in for me. I buy them from them, and then I sell them to you after whipping them up.
Oh. Are they...
I would think that they come from a stream down the road.
Okay. That's
Most
good to know.
folk don't journey to the lake and then come back. But that's a sad tale. You don't need to hear that. This is a happy time.
I mean, you seem like a really good storyteller, though, so maybe you could just regale us with that tale while we wait for our food. We're tired, and a story would be nice.
Of course. Another ale for you then.
Yup.
So she hurries off and she grabs you. So at your wave, like she catches you.
Yeah, I
real
just
quick.
wave.
Yeah. And she brings back 2 more ales. The ales are running at 4 copper each.
Bargain.
and you're drinking them as you're drinking them. This is a very weak brew. What's everybody's what are you, for those of you that are drinking? What are your Constitution modifiers?
+3.
+3.
Okay. You can handle the way I'm handling the way I'm doing alcoholic beverages. You can handle up to your Constitution modifier per hour and stay sober. And if you go beyond that, then you start rolling saves. So she brings back 2 more of her pale ales. And she sets them down and says, "You lot are going to drink me dry. Now, about those stories that you mentioned. You're right, you're a clever one. They say that the forest around the lake is haunted." And she kind of like looks at you like expectantly, like, ooh.
Does it seem like they say that, or is she just bullshitting?
Insight. Because you called her a storyteller, she is kind of adding a bit of her own, narrative flavor. I mean, she only has made one statement so far, but you can tell that she said it in a way that like she was reading a storybook to children. But the story, like what she said about it being haunted, that's legit from where she's coming from.
Okay.
It is true that whoever they are and wherever she heard that from, she has heard that for sure. She's repeating a thing that's been told to her or something that she truly believes. Now, haunted by what? I don't rightly know. I heard it's monsters of the worst kind, though. The kind that come in and eat children for breakfast, women for lunch, and men as an afternoon snack. And then for dinner, the strongest eat the weakest of them.
That's upsetting.
And then from over kind of against the wall, you hear a gruff voice kind of call out, "Don't you listen to that garbage." And you see the dwarven woman look up, and if you turn around, you see that the man with the wide-rimmed hat is kind of looking up from his soup. And he says, "I ain't here to help you lot. But Bara there, she don't know nothing." And he kind of just looks back down at his soup.
What does this guy look like?
In what way? Other than what I've described, or?
Yeah, other than like what he's wearing and everything, like what does he look like?
So he's human, you can tell. He's has very rounded ears. He's got kind of a wide set nose on it, and he's got a bearded face. The beard, while trimmed to a degree, is still very scraggly and scruffy. Like it's not super long, like it's been cut, but it's not kept. It seems he's wearing studded leathers underneath his coat.
Does he have any weapons that we can see?
Mm-hmm. Actually, beside him sits a very intricate and interesting looking heavy crossbow.
Is it loaded?
Roll a perception for that.
Can Dave roll perception as well?
Yep. Tave, one of the things, as you turn around and you look at the man in the leathers talking to you guys, you hear another sound, kind of in the opposite direction, and you turn your head really fast, and like one of those like it's almost like a vessel like bursts in the back of your neck, and it's like super like it feels hot and just super painful, and you're just like, and you just kind of trying to fight through the pain without destroying everything in front of you. Desmond, the crossbow is not only loaded with a heavy bolt, but it's got some kind of strange contraption on it to where it's got 2 bolts kind of on top of each other. And it's almost like it's double loaded.
All right.
So it's like it's got 2 strings on it. And when you scan the line, just the length of the stock down to where the trigger would be for this crossbow, you see 2 triggers. And you hear apparently Bara in front of you give a bit of a huff. And she says, whenever the man looks back down in his soup, he says, "Oh, don't you mind him? That's old Ricky Dean. He's not from here either. Bit of a stick in the mud, if you ask me."
What about him over there? And I pointed the other man near the fire.
Bara follows your finger and looks over to the other patron. She says, "Don't know much about him. Hasn't said much. Hasn't ordered anything either. He's welcome to enjoy the fire, though." And Theron, you see that if you're watching, you see that the man in plate armor motioned over towards you, and that Bara, the dwarven woman, looked over at you and then said something.
I look up. I have my hood over my head right now, just cleaning my daggers with my cloth. I put it down and yell across the room, "G'day, mate."
Likewise.
Bara looks over at you, Desmond, and she says, "That's the most he's said since he's got here."
He seems friendly enough.
Now that he's seen a friendly face, I would imagine. A scrumptious face.
Desmond blushes.
I'm gonna give him another little nudge.
She, noticing your blush, she says, "Oh, those cheeks light up like apples. I could just eat them right up." And she does grab a hold of your cheek and kind of jiggle it a little bit.
I'm going to sheath my
trying not to
daggers.
laugh.
I'm going to sheath my daggers and get up
Okay.
with my hood down. And I'm going to walk over to the bar. And I'm going to ask her if I can get one of the pale ales.
And she looks around at you and she said, "I'll be right with you, dearie." At this point, Grum, who you would assume to be Grum, comes in through the kitchen, and it's the dwarven man that you passed on the street, just carrying your food. He sits down on the table in no particular order, not in front of anybody, just kind of letting you take what's yours. 2 onion soups, cooked rabbit, and a cooked wolf steak. And he holds out his hand, and Bara says, "Oh, of course. The food will run you 18 coppers."
I'll just give her 2 silver.
"Thank you, laddie. A sweet one you are."
Well, I try.
"And you succeed." And so she kind of gives you a wink as she goes over to give Theron an ale.
And I just kind of turn my chair, put my arm on the thing, just kind of friendly type posture. And I look at him and I say, "So what brings you to these parts?"
Well, we're just heading to the lake. What about you? She said you're not really from around here either.
Do I know about this lake?
Roll history. You've actually heard some rumors that there's some kind of treasure at this lake. And that
Okay.
people have tried to go and get this treasure. And, but you've never heard anything come from it. At this point, the man in the leathers and the wide rimmed hat speaks up again, and he says, "You'll stay away from that lake if you know what's good for you."
I was like, don't be such a sissy, eh?
He says, "You go right ahead. Go to that lake and never come back. You won't have a choice. The rest of you, you don't look like you belong in these parts. You look a little soft. Even you, Tin Man."
Oh, gauntlet. Throw him down.
Desmond takes
I
a
start chuckling.
big drink of his water.
I just started chuckling.
Tave's like just drinking his beer as well, kind of shaking his head.
I'm just kind of looking. I say, "You all right, mate?"
He says, "You must have not ever met a Slayer before."
I'm gonna look towards Colby's character and say, "What'd you say your name was, friend?"
My name's Dan Carver. And you?
Nice to meet you. My name is Desmond. This here's Tave, and the tipsy one next to me is Rin.
His wave.
Hi!
Are you hungry?
Now that you say it, I could use a bit to eat. A bite to eat. There you go.
Order some food and sit with us.
Fresh out of gold, mate.
I'll give him some of my steak.
Delicious.
No. You keep your steak.
I'll slide it over to you.
I can like push my bowl of onion soup over there. Be like, onion soup,
I'm not
okay?
looking for chatty. I'm not looking for chatty. You keep your food. All right. I'm good. I got this bag of bread here.
Got a bag of bread.
Who's got a bag of bread?
And
Where you get that bag of bread from?
He just
smile
always
when I
has
say
a
it.
bag of white Wonder Bread. Just start
bunny bread.
eating it.
Who's got a
They say
bag of
wheat's
bread?
better for you, but I like the white bread.
I never make any sandwiches. Just bread sandwiches.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, Colby, you've got 20 gold.
Okay. Well, now I can buy myself something to eat.
At this point, I'm assuming I've kind of like cracked into the wolf steak. Is it any good? Like, would I recommend it to this guy?
It's pretty chewy and gristly, honestly. It's edible, but it's not the best.
How's the rabbit and the soup?
The rabbit is very lean, and the soup, if there's any onion in it, it wasn't entirely clean when it was put in there. All of it is edible, and
Dirt
from what you
onion
can
soup.
tell, it's not going to hurt you
Organic.
as far as your health goes, and you need to eat right, but it's not the greatest.
Like, I've only taken one bite of the steak, and I'm still chewing the same bite. And I'm like, the wolf steak's really good. You should try it.
Okay. I'll take Wind Wolf, please.
A whole one.
No, just a little one. Like
A whole
pup,
little one?
right? Sure, why not? How much is it going to run me?
Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm going to have to ring this one up. Graham, do we have any whole wolves? You don't hear a response from the kitchen. And,
I'll lean over to Desmond and say, as she's saying that, like I lean over and say, I suppose they don't hunt around here, eh?
I suppose not.
She said, I wanted a whole wolf. I start laughing.
So she goes to the back and she says, "One moment, dearie," and she kind of goes to the back. And the man with the hat has been talking to you guys, and he at this point just downs the rest of his soup, sets the bowl on the table, and he says, "You can mock me. That's all right. You won't be here by tomorrow anyway. And by here, I mean alive. Especially if you're planning on going to that lake. Rumor has it that there's a tower there. Stands in the middle of the lake, not even standing on any kind of ground, just coming up right out of the water. That thing's an icon of evil, I tell you. Am I scared of it? Nope. Just don't got any business going around it."
My smirk turns to a frown, not like full frown, but just kind of like I get serious as I'm listening to him.
We appreciate your concern. Our business is our own.
Then your business will be the end of you. Not to you. And he walks off. He starts to walk off into the direction of his room, or what you would assume to be his room, kind of back in the back, or rather up the stairs.
Well, he's a pleasant, cheerful fellow.
I should have shown you his picture.
Oh, he looks awesome.
Ricky Dean Beauregard.
Beauregard.
I gotta be friends with that guy.
I really like his hat.
So Bara comes back from the kitchen, and she says, "Well, I'm sorry, dearie, but we don't have any whole wolves. I must rightly say I didn't expect anybody to ever order one of those. A hungry fellow you must be, though. Gotta get you several plates of wolf."
Sure, why not?
So she turns around and goes, "Grub!" And she yells like, she says, "9 plates of wolf!"
No, I interrupted her. Only 2.
Oh, I thought you said so. Make up your mind, dearie. Grub!
Well, you make up your
Make
mind.
that 2 plates of wolf!
Well, I have to say, I don't really think you know how to count them. But your ale's good.
Bara, before you go.
I'm not going anywhere, dearie.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
here
then
to
why
talk to you.
right?
I'm gonna watch you while you eat.
Then stay. Well, we entered town. We saw a sign on a path shooting off from the main one, and it said something sort of sinister about keeping out or
Sinister?
staying out.
Keeping out, staying out.
Stay away.
Stay away.
Oh, you're talking about Lady Blanche. Of course. Lady Blanche. She's not very social, is she? Do you know Lady Blanche?
You know, we don't, but we'd love to hear more about her. You seem like you know an awful lot about everything going on here.
I know a lot about a little, I would say. Mm-hmm. You scrumptious little thing, you.
Oh, me?
Oh, yes, you. You seem like you need another ale, I should think.
Sure.
Fantastic. And what about you, lad? Growing boys need their ale?
Water's fine.
Oh, fine. And so she leaves you with your water, and she brings you another ale, Ren. And she says, "Lady Blanche, she's been here for as long as I can remember. Really? She's an old crone, just keeps to herself. Not too many people go and visit her, really. Not too many people come and visit me either. At least not from here.
So does she just want to keep people out? Or is there something really going on?
What do you mean?
Well, the sign said stay away, so.
Oh, that's just friendly banter, I think.
Okay.
Of course,
Does
I never go
anyone-
and talk to her myself.
Yeah.
But she's harmless. In fact, I think she's a little bit weird.
How so?
Probably knows a little bit about your lake that you're going to. Probably knows more stories than I do.
Interesting.
Now, if you go and talk to her, I must tell you, she's not quite as charismatic as old Bara here. And she kind of, raises her bust a little bit whenever she does that. She say, you might have to do a bit of thinking to figure out what she has to say.
Has she eaten here at the Thickety Pot before?
No, I don't think she's ever had a reason to. I think she just gets her food from some kind of orchard or just catches her own meals out there on her little hut out there away from everybody else. Like I said, none too social.
Bara, how long have you lived here?
All of my life, dearie.
And the people outside, some of the ones who are acting a little strange, have they lived here all their lives?
Who's acting strange, dearie?
Oh, it seemed like maybe some people were acting a little strange outside.
Really? Well, that's very troubling. Who did you see that was acting strange?
Well, we don't know them because we just got here, but if there was, I'm just gonna drink more beer. Or ale. I'm just gonna.
Well, I'm no scholar myself, but I would imagine that different people from different places just have different customs. That's what I always say.
Okay, we're into now. That's good.
I'm going to lean towards Therian and say, did you notice any strange people when you were coming into town?
I'm strictly here for business. I don't notice much. Try to stay clear of most people.
Fair enough. And what did you say your business was here?
Well, my business is confidential.
Understood.
Bara continues and she says, well, whatever your customs are from where you're from, they seem tasty. And she, when she says this, she kind of looks at you and she lets her tongue out of her mouth and she licks her lips back and forth.
So uncomfortable.
Am I done eating at this point?
Oh, that's up to you. You sound like a child. Am I done? Can I be done?
I've actually not eaten any of my soup.
Okay, you will need to eat.
I know.
She was getting sloshed over there.
I've eaten everything at this point.
I'm just eating my rations
Theron
later.
Grum does bring you your two wolf platters.
I'm getting tired. How about you guys?
I think we should probably be on our way.
Would you like to stay in my own rooms? I know you've already purchased rooms over at the creepy cabinet. But I wouldn't mind giving you rooms for free if you wanted to stay over here. You scrumptious little morsels.
You know, we already paid, and
Yeah, I
maybe
think we'll.
tomorrow.
Let's.
Why don't you stay?
Current arrangements are probably going to be fine.
You should probably. Why don't you stay, dearies? It'll be.
You're so sweet, and
Tafe starts.
she's-
He stands up.
She kind of starts to step in like closer to you. Just kind of as you guys are like starting to stand up and kind of edge towards the exit, she's like edging in closer to you. Please, won't you stay? I insist. I'm being
Maybe
polite.
we'll be back for breakfast.
If you'll be back for breakfast, why don't you just stay here and you can just be here for breakfast.
For breakfast. We left some of our stuff over there, and it's just easier
Why don't you
once we're
stay?
there to be there.
I've got more ale.
Maybe another time. Then I'll start walking towards the door.
Yeah, Tafe's going towards the door as well.
I'm backing. My back is not to her. I'm backing towards the door.
Tave, with your proximity to her, she puts a hand on your shoulder and kind of reaches around and puts a surprisingly strong hand kind of up on your abdomen because she's a bit shorter than you. And as you look at her, she kind of runs a finger down your, reaches up and runs a finger down your chest and down your abdomen, says, "You do look tasty." She licks her lips again and she says, "Why don't you just stay for a few more hours?"
I'm just gonna like brush her hand off of me and can I roll intimidation and just kind of stare in the eyes and say, "We're gonna go now," and that'll be that.
Yeah, so roll intimidation. So she meets your gaze and she just kind of slowly backs her hand away and she says, "Oh, fine. You're probably chewing anyway. Off with you. And thank you for stopping by the Thickety Pot. Please come again. Good night."
I'm out.
On that note, I'm out of here too, mate.
Hope I didn't eat any human.
So as you step back into the street, out of the Thickety Pot, feel the relief of that exit, but you step back into what is just the uncomfort, the thick uncomfort that is Sandalwood. Daylight has gone now. The only light out in the street is that from a couple of lanterns that have been lit.
All right. Guess we need to head back to our rooms.
Just quick thought. Just given the situation going on at this inn, we just may want to give some thought to what situation might be going on at our other inn, or just maybe at the very least set a watch or something.
I agree.
I'm fine to watch. Do we all want to be in this same room? Do we want...
You do notice, the three of you notice that Theron, the man that you have been speaking to in the Thickety Pot, has followed you out of the building.
I start walking off from the group.
Okay.
Which direction is he walking? Is he walking like into a store or something?
I don't know.
No, I'm just walking down the road. I intend to find a place to lie.
So we're heading back to our rooms at the creepy cabinet.
Okay.
Because the sun's already down.
Right.
Yep.
So as you go back in, so you guys are headed in. So stepping up the not rotten, but just very old, very worn, not high quality stairs and wooden rail leading up to the doorway. Maybe 3 stairs to get up to the deck there, and just the only sound happening in the entire village, it would seem, are your footsteps going up on this hollow, deck. Just the thud of your footsteps, feeling almost like thunderclaps ringing through the night, and opening up the door, it creaks open, and you see Oh, I called him Thomas earlier. His name's Leonard. You see, my bad.
Thomas Leonard. That's his middle name.
You see Leonard, because you read his thoughts last time, and you got his name is Leonard Rutherford. And you see Leonard sweeping the floor, but like facing into a corner, just like facing a corner, just sweeping. As the door creaks open, he slowly turns around and looks up at you. Still sweeping.
Just heading straight for the rooms. Not talking to anybody.
You should keep the peace.
Thank you. And then just keep walking.
I'm camping in the woods, like outside of this inn, and I'm just setting up a fire right now.
Okay. As you guys are starting to walk to your rooms, Leonard just says, "Sleep tight. Keep the peace." And just slowly turns back to his corner.
Okay.
I'm already making my way to my room.
Okay.
Or to one of the rooms.
I'm going with Desmond.
Are you going straight to bed? How are you doing this? What do you do?
I'm walking into the room behind you guys and saying I'm not sleeping on my own and just throw my stuff down under. If there's a window, is there a window?
In your rooms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna throw my stuff down under a window and just slide down against the wall and sit for a while.
Is there a chair in the room?
Yeah, a wooden one.
Okay. I'll just sit on the chair.
Okay.
And kind of decompress a little bit.
Sure.
Turn my back and start taking off my armor.
The first thing I do is turn my back to everything.
Can I see the window from where I'm camping?
No.
If you did, you'd see a man taking off his armor. We'll each take watch.
Okay, so you're taking watches then?
I mean, we're not going to sleep, or at least I'm not going to sleep right now. I'm just taking the armor off and gonna relax. You know, if anybody wants to chat before bedtime, then kind of plan for the next day. I'm not just like just straight up going out.
This armor's heavy, guys.
Well, do we think we have enough information to head to the lake tomorrow, or do we want to talk to the lady who doesn't like visitors? Or do we want to stop at that shop and see if there's anything we need to buy? Or just head for the lake straight in the morning?
I say we stop at the shop, see if there's anything we need to get. Maybe find some health potions or something and head out.
Fair enough. And what do you guys think about that one guy in the thickety pot? What was up with him? Yeah, the hat. That weird crossbow.
I don't know. I've heard small stories of those men, but I don't really know anything. I've never met one.
He was rough. He's borderline threatening, but it's hard to tell if he was saying it, for our own good or not. But I think we're all in agreement that we're headed to the lake no matter what. So,
I mean,
Our task.
I'm not sure how much I trust the information we just got, but if it's true that that woman has lived here for a while, I mean, I feel like it wouldn't hurt to know more about what we're walking into. I don't want to delay here any longer than we have to, but just given the state of people here, this far away from the lake, I'm nervous about what we'll find as we get closer, and walking in blind
Right.
could be dangerous. I don't know if the reclusive older lady is necessarily who we want to get our information from, but like you mentioned, that man with the hat seemed like maybe he'd heard stories.
I'd honestly rather talk to the recluse than the man in the hat, but that's just me.
Yeah.
I agree.
You don't like Ricky Dean?
I like him. I like his hat.
Hey, hat man. I don't know what your deal is, but
Give us the info.
Man, what other buildings are beside where they're sleeping at?
basically just the two that are there, or the three that are there in the immediate vicinity are the Creepy Cabinet Inn where they're staying, and then the Thickety Pot where you just guys came from, and what looks to be like a storage building behind the Thickety Pot.
I'm gonna wait till everybody goes to bed. Then I'm gonna scout out the Thickety Pot, and I'm gonna try to get in there and steal their money.
Okay.
So
I want to see
Carry on.
how this goes, so I go to bed real fast.
Okay.
I take back what I said before. Desmond is out.
Before we sleep, I think maybe could I just, Tave, how I spoke to you in your head earlier, and you just heard my voice without me talking.
Yes.
Could we maybe try that again? And I'll just test it on each of you so you know what it's going to be like. So if it happens in a tense situation, you don't look over at me very surprised or...
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. And I'm asking permission this time. But I might not in the future, so I want you to know what it sounds like.
Seems like a useful tool.
So I'm just going to cast a message on Tave.
Okay.
And just say, I can't hear anything, but what you want to tell me back.
I think I have the hang of it.
Okay. And then I'll cast...
do I hang up? Do I hang up?
That's funny.
Where's the little red button with the...
Stop. All right. If you look more comfortable than you did at the beginning, then I'll cast it on Desmond. Hi. This is what it sounds like.
Hello.
Not like me
And
talking.
Desmond, as you yawn and kind of raise your hand up to your mouth to cover your yawn politely, you hear like a very loud ring in your head as you get a feedback from the wrist cuff and the message being sent at the same time.
I like put my hands on my ears. I'm like,
Oh my gosh, really? That's kind of
Magic
fun.
feedback.
Put the phone too close to the speakers.
well, it's good we have multiple ways of communicating.
Just in case. So I might not ask next time, but it'll be important if I don't.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, does that cover business then?
I think so.
Covering up my business.
All right.
Everyone keep your business.
Cover.
I mean, we've been camping for a while, guys. It's just not in the woods right now. So I'll just be cool.
Be cool, everybody. Okay, so
Heist of the century.
yeah, Theron. So you want to sneak over to the Thickety Pot?
Okay. It's risky. I'm gonna walk over there, peek in the windows.
Okay. How are you going about doing this?
Walk over there.
You're just walking over there? Okay.
Just like a thief in the night, dude.
Okay. Roll perception. You don't have dark vision, do you? And you don't have a torch? Lit?
No torch lit.
Okay. Roll it with disadvantage. Okay. Yeah, around the corner, you see the hint of a crate, kind of sticking out from the corner that you feel like you could probably pick up. and carry over to the window.
Let's do it.
All right. So you pick up the crate. Seems that whatever's in it is very light, and you can pick up. But there is something just small that you can tell. Just adds a little bit of weight to what you expected the crate to weigh. But it's still light enough that you can carry it. So you carry it over to the window. Then what?
I'm gonna peek in, look for a light.
Stand on the crate and
stand on the crate and then peek in the window.
Okay. All right. So you look into the window and you see it's relatively late. It's probably about 11 at this point, getting close to midnight. But you do see Grum washing dishes in this kitchen area that you're looking into.
Now, is that pretty secluded area? Like when I say that, is it closed off pretty well from the front of the house, like the bar or inn or whatever?
The doorways don't have doors on them, but it's walled. It's not. You can't just look into it.
I'm going to take. I will look on the ground, look for a rock, see if I can find one.
Sure. I mean, there's little pebbles around, like depending on what kind of size you're looking for.
Fist size.
Fist size. All right, you're gonna have to look around for that. Investigation disadvantage. Okay, so it takes you. How long you want to look for this? If you don't find
5
one
minutes.
immediately. 5 minutes. Okay, you take a look around for 5 minutes, and you don't find a rock that sized.
Okay. Well, I guess I'm just gonna assess the level of danger and weigh the odds, and then I'm just gonna go back to my camp. It's not safe.
Okay. I'm going to assume then we're heading into sleep time.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so who's on first watch?
I'll take. You can take it.
Sure. First punch.
Okay. Where are you watching from?
Finna watch. I'll sit in the chair
Oh no.
beside the window,
Okay.
but not looking out of the window. Just like I'll look out every now and then,
Okay.
but I will be mostly just kind of looking at the door.
Looking at the door. Every now and then.
Oh my god.
You hear a thump. Thump. And it gets louder. And then thump. Thump. Thump.
So
It gets
starting to
quieter.
okay.
And it heightens your awareness for maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And then thump.
Oh god, I hate it.
Thump. It gets louder.
Is it louder this time than it was at its loudest last time?
Roll a wisdom saving throw.
Oh no! Can I roll a wisdom? Okay.
Can I roll?
Can I do what you just told me to do real quick?
Oh
It's
no.
definitely louder than it was before.
Okay.
And as you kind of lean forward, butt cheeks clenched,
Right.
Oh, no. No.
your chair gives the loudest creak
Oh man.
as you lean forward.
Do we wake up?
The thumping stops.
Like as soon as the chair squeaks.
Yep.
This is my nightmare. This
Good.
is my nightmare.
Then it begins again. And it gets quieter.
How much time has passed?
How long are you watching?
I guess just a third of the night, or however long we're resting.
So you need 6 total hours. You said you're sleeping till 8. So I guess I don't know. You're watching for 2 hours. I guess you have to tell me.
Sure, I'll take 3 hours. That's fine.
And you went to bed around 10.
Well, I was thinking from. Well, if we're going from 10, I'll watch until like 1. That's fine. Yeah. That's
Okay.
Fine.
Okay, until 1. All right. Well, give me one second.
Oh God.
Until 1,
I hate
eh?
this place. I hate this inn.
Well, the good stuff happens at 1 a.m.
Okay. Around 1.
So around 1 is when I would be thinking about waking somebody else up. Desmond seemed pretty
the
tired, so
thumping
probably
comes and goes throughout the entirety of your watch.
okay.
And around 1, as you're feeling the tension, but you're kind of starting to doze, and you realize that the thumping at this point has stopped entirely.
Can I roll a move silently check to like, get off of the stool without squeaking?
Yep. Roll a stealth check. Man, I've never wished for a natural one so hard before.
Sarah, you got any portents you can hand out?
Oh my God.
While you're sleeping?
I joked about it.
I wake up from my dream and
She has
shut up.
a fever dream about a squeaky chair.
I will now.
So you stand up. You take a step.
Oh God.
And then another step. The third step that you take, now that you're away from your chair and between the chair and who are you walking over to?
Ren.
Walking over to Ren. You step on a floorboard that just... As soon as you put any weight on it, and then you, as quickly as you take weight off of it, it just remakes that noise as it resettles back to where it was.
Perfect.
Wow.
Good.
You freeze, listening for anything to respond to that intrusion. After what seems like an hour of waiting, you assume that nothing was disturbed by the sound.
Okay. I'd like to wake Ren up.
Okay. Ren, you wake up pretty easily.
Hi. Is it my turn?
Yeah. There's been some thumping noises. So
Some what?
Some freaky stuff going on in these other bedrooms.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's probably nothing.
Like people in other rooms are being loud?
Maybe yes.
Oh,
Probably
that's
so.
rude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably what it is. If anything weird happens, don't hesitate to wake. Okay. I gotta go to sleep.
Okay, well, all right. I guess it's my turn. I'll sit in the chair.
Okay, Ren, as you walk over, Tave is kind of very carefully, noticeably, getting settled into his sleeping position, and the floors creak a little bit as you walk over to the chair, and then the chair itself just kind of creaks as the wood settles.
Ren feels fine. I just sit in this chair.
So, what are your plans?
I'm just gonna sit in the chair and listen for any like rude thumping that any of the neighbors are making.
For how long?
How long has it been since Desmond went to sleep?
10. It's been 3 hours.
I'm honestly not sleeping very well anyway, so I'll watch for another 3 hours so Desmond gets his full amount, and then I'll see if I can get some more after that.
Okay. All right. So 3 hours then?
Yep. Oh my god, I heard him roll. Ah!
Okay. An hour goes by, and you become bored. Another hour goes by, and your boredom only increases.
Any weird thumping from any?
No thumping.
All right.
No sounds at all, other than just every now and then, whenever you shift in your chair, the chair creaks. Nothing alarming, nothing out of the ordinary. In the third hour, maybe about 10 minutes into it, you take a casual glance out the window. And you see a light hovering in the middle of just in the middle of the night, just hovering, slowly swaying back and forth. You can tell it's from a lantern. Out from a tree, off in the distance, you see a figure. Not fully lit from the lantern, but cloaked and shaded.
How far away are they?
Far. They're small in your vision.
Okay. I'm just gonna make note of where that would be in proximity to the inn.
Okay. And you look away from them?
That's such a specific question. I'll watch what they do.
Okay.
If I can still see them all. I mean, I'm on watch, right? So I'm watching I'm using my senses, but I just want to watch and see where they go.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So they continue to walk kind of towards the east. Very, very slowly. You watch them for maybe 20 minutes and they don't make too much progress. You begin to doze a little, getting this late into the night. Remembering what your responsibilities are, your head snaps up and you don't see the light anymore. At least not in the place where you saw it last. So, adjusting your position in your chair, you look around the window to get a better view, and you see that the figure with the lantern is standing maybe 50 feet away from the window.
God.
Facing the window.
I have dark vision for 60 feet, and I have a lantern. Can I see what they look like?
Roll perception.
Oh my god. Nightmares forever.
Roll an intelligence check. Just a general intelligence check. Okay. Yeah, you actually do recognize this person. You didn't interact with this person, but you saw them briefly on the street. You saw this person. He was the man with the saw, sawing a log with the upside down saw, where the teeth were pointed upwards, and he wasn't actually cutting into the log. Just watching the three of you vanguard walking through the street.
Is he just standing there?
Just standing there.
Has it been 3 hours yet?
It's been very close to 3 hours.
Like enough that I could presume that maybe Desmond would have had a good amount of rest.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Okay, yeah, I shake him awake like immediately.
Huh?
There's somebody outside.
Outside the door?
At the window.
Outside the window?
He's on the ground and he has a lantern, and it's the guy who's sawing, but he was sawing the wrong way, and he moves very slowly, and it's very unsettling, and he's watching us. Like I don't know if he saw me, but he was looking at the inn. I don't know. I need to go to bed.
Okay, I'll take care of it. You go to bed.
Yeah, I need to go to bed. But do you see him?
I'm gonna walk up to the window and see if I see what she's talking about.
Yeah, roll perception. Yeah, so you take a good long gander out the window. You have no idea what she's talking about.
You go to sleep, Ren. It's all good here.
But I'm telling you, he was there. He was walking through the woods really slow, like unnecessarily slow, and then he was just outside the inn.
Sometimes people just aren't in a hurry, so. I mean, what time is it? I'm sure I'd be pretty slow right now.
Okay. I'm gonna just try to go to bed.
Okay. For you, Desmond, I need to roll. So you're going to watch for 4 more hours then?
What time is it now?
It's 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. 4 hours of watching and non-activity go by. Looking out the window, you see dawn begin to break around 6. And light begins to shine over Sandalwood, though any tension that you felt with it being night is not resolved with the daylight. The feelings are still there. There's not full cloud cover. It is partially cloudy here, but it feels like there is full cloud cover in this place. You hear low thuds of activity as the sun comes up just throughout the inn. And around 8 a.m., Tave, you begin to rouse. Let's see, what time did you go to bed, Ren? At 4?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you guys wake Ren?
I'm not gonna wake her up.
I wouldn't. I need to prepare like my spells and put my armor on and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Theron, you wake up around this time as well.